I'd hear around me, oh, dickhead, idiot, asshole, probably drug dealer.
Yeah.
And it's that tall poppy syndrome. Like, people just really want to tear you down.
Welcome to today's podcast. Here I have with me
Foti, my name is Fotios.
Yep, and Foti, the people want to know, what do you do with yourself, mate?
I'm an entrepreneur from Melbourne. I do a few different things in different spaces, mainly in technology. However, I was running a few nightclubs as well prior to the coronavirus pandemic, which quite frankly is a bit of a joke, but
We'll save that for later on.
we'll save that for later on. But so was doing a few things with nightclubs and stuff like that. But Corona closed out, so my life's become a bit more boring.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it's been a good opportunity for us to focus on technology. We own a marketing company. We've had now close to 14,000 clients. It's blown up over the past month.
Yeah.
It's gone from 12,000 to 14,000 in the span of a few weeks, so
Wow.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Around the world. On our software, we're releasing a variety of other new marketing software channels as well. And recently we were featured in a lot of different press across Melbourne.
Yeah.
Gotten a lot of exposure for all the success we've had in the app industry, in the marketing field, and in technology. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah. And majority of people, only see what's going on after the recent exposure and all the news networks, but we want to really know how this all started and what got you sort of invested into this life.
I started when I was like 10 years old. I was already thinking of business ideas, and I already had a love for business. Like, I remember I'd hear the word business and I just got excited.
Yeah.
Like, I was in America and with my family once, and I remember just hearing people at the table just talking about business. And I was 10 years old, and I just wanted to know more and more and more. And the word just, I don't know, something just sparked whenever I heard it. So I ended up starting my first business around 12, 13, which was just involved selling stuff on eBay. And I found the more stuff I did, the luckier I got in many different ways. I'd go to garage sales and I'd find things, and then I'd list 20 products.
Yeah.
And then I'd find one winning product and then just scale that product.
Yeah.
And I love the adrenaline rush of the whole.
12 and 13. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I remember I found these gym products, and I found this garage sale. I bought it for $20, and I was selling for $160 on eBay, and I didn't even know. Yeah. And it sold for $140, and then I went and bought 10 more. Yeah. And then I was selling broken phones, fixing them, refurbished, selling them. USB sticks from China, importing them, reselling them here. Because people would rather buy a USB from an Australian seller because you get it in 4 days versus 2 months. Yeah. So you could put an upmark of $6-7 a piece, which at the time wasn't much, but when you're selling 20-30 a week and you're 13 years old and you're making even $150 from USB sticks a week, that was a lot of money back then.
Sure,
because people were making that, at Coles, I was making that going to the post office twice a week after school. Yeah. So a lot easier. Yeah. But that's how it all started, and then I learned how to build mobile apps when I was 15. Yeah. Built and sold over 100 apps, and then partnered with Alan on one app, Cloud the Game, took that to the top charts, and then after the success of that project, we did more and more, which ended up becoming a lot more lucrative than
you expected.
Than we expected.
Really? Yeah. Fair enough. So there's a common theme that I see between all of your successes, even from a young age, is that you learn the process first. Yeah. Can you talk to us a bit about how important self-help and self-learning is when you're trying to invest in yourself?
Yeah, people. You talk about a process. I think people, they're always looking for the formula to success.
Yeah, the one quick trick.
Yeah, I don't think there's a formula, and this is why I'm so against internet. I guess you can call them gurus and stuff that try to teach people how to become rich quick.
Yeah, I was talking about this.
Yeah, so they charge you $2,000 for a course, or even I've seen some of them charge $20,000.
Really?
To teach people how to get rich. You can't teach someone how to get rich. Yeah. It's because the formula to success exists, but it's invisible and it cannot be taught.
Replicated, yeah.
It can't be taught
because even if you were to give me exactly what you did to get to your position,
it might not work in this ecosystem.
Oh, 100% it would fail. You know what I mean?
Or it depends on so many thousands of factors that are changing every single day, and this is why school can't also teach you business, because the business world is so adaptive. What works on Monday might not work on Tuesday.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So there's no set.
And that's
formula.
how quick it literally can be.
Yeah, like people are teaching, real estate, how to become rich in real estate. Yeah. How are you going to become rich in real estate now? You've got COVID-19.
Exactly.
So what worked last month doesn't work this month.
Exactly. You have to adapt.
Exactly. So in any industry, like even Facebook ads, the Facebook ads working last week might not work this week because the trends have changed.
Yeah.
So there's no one set formula, but there are certain rules, I believe. There are certain rules, and this is kind of a loophole that I think that are necessary for success.
Yeah.
Rules like having the right team. That's a rule. It's not a formula, but you need the right team.
Yeah, so it's like maximizing your chances of success.
Yeah, but I think to be successful, you need to know thousands and thousands and thousands of these rules. And you only learn them from actually doing stuff, and they develop in your head.
Yeah.
And then you eventually just have an understanding of what's going to work and what's not going to work, and it's invisible, only you understand it, and you can't actually explain why.
Would you sort of put it on the same level as a muscle memory almost?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. So you just kind of have that initial reaction to a scenario that you've...
It's like playing FIFA.
Yeah.
Right? Some people, like Alan will kick my ass in FIFA, but I don't know why he'll kick my ass in FIFA.
Yeah.
He's just played it so much that it's like, he just knows what to do. But he can't write a manual on FIFA because it's just kind of muscle. Like he knows which player to pass it to, when to do like a through ball, when to do that, because he's just done it so many times. So, in business, you can look at a person and know, is this person going to suit the team? Is this person going to put in work? Is this person going to work well with us? Is there going to be synergy?
Yeah.
You can tell all those things. You can't tell why that is the case.
Yeah.
But you just know.
Yeah.
Because you've worked with thousands of people.
Yeah. On that, do you think you yourself have a sort of personality or a group of personality characteristics that sort of account for that type of learning to occur? Or do you think anybody can literally pick up from where they are and become sort of, help themselves financially and all the rest?
I think people are born. I think people are born entrepreneurs, and there's a difference between entrepreneurs and business people. And I think
that's not like a commonly made distinction. So
no, it's not. So everyone's calling themselves an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone that innovates.
Yeah.
They create something new.
Yeah.
A business person is someone that just makes money.
Yeah.
If you're investing in real estate, stocks, if you're doing that sort of stuff, you're a business person. You're in the game to make money. Yeah. You're not innovating, you haven't created anything. You're trading commodities, you're buying investments.
Yeah.
You're taking loans, buying investments, trying to make your money. You're doing advanced maths.
Yeah, you just
financial maths.
More risk than corporate life, but less risk than innovation.
Whereas entrepreneurs, they create new things.
Yeah.
And I think that's a distinction. Like, I don't think day traders are entrepreneurs, even though they like to say they are.
Yeah.
I don't think they are.
I mean, I definitely think that there's overlapping characteristics.
Yeah.
And there's definitely people who have day traded that have made it for themselves. But yeah, I definitely agree with you on that point.
Neither are some business owners.
Yeah.
Because they haven't created anything. It's like,
yeah, for sure.
But I think certain things do make people entrepreneurial that they're born with. You have to be born with a creative mind.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're not born with a creative mind, it's quite hard to innovate. So naturally, creative people are going to have an advantage. But not all people want to be an entrepreneur, and that's what makes entrepreneurship work. The fact that not everyone is one. Yeah. If everyone was an entrepreneur, the world would be a terrible place.
For sure.
If everyone was like me, I'm telling you, the world wouldn't go around. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs are just thinkers as well.
Yeah.
I'm not someone that can do repetitive tasks and stuff like that. I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Naturally, I had to force myself to do that as a kid, but I knew that I wouldn't do that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I can't sit there all day and do it, but other people love like administrative work. Like some of my friends, I tell them, I'll pay you $1,000 a week to do this for the next few years. They love that. Like, they listen to music, they do the same tasks. They don't want to be thinking of ideas or guiding a ship. It's too much pressure.
Yeah.
People are born with that creative side. Same thing. Not all smart people are born to be bosses.
Yeah, for sure.
Because being a boss requires decision making, and a lot of often you get put under a lot of pressure, and that's not the life for everyone. And to be honest, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll have a happier life being a boss. Everyone wants to be the boss, but
there's only one boss, man. It can't be everyone.
It can't be everyone, and the boss isn't necessarily always the happiest guy.
For sure.
Sometimes it's the person just taking the instructions. They don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. And I think that's really why a lot of people fall into sort of 9-to-5 roles, is because...
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate on the 9-to-5.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say I respect it. I would say I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because me personally, that's not somewhere that I want to be.
Personally, I used to like hate the 9-to-5 as a kid. But you know what I realised that, I respect anyone that's working.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people that just don't work, and those people I have no respect for. And a lot of them will say, oh, but I can't find a job. I think you can always find something.
There's people always have.
There's always something to do. I've seen homeless people hustle and get their way out of it.
Yeah.
It's all about your. If you don't want to work and you're not going to complain about it, that's fine. Because you've accepted. I don't want to work. I'm gonna be a bum.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
But if you don't work and you complain about where you are in life, then I've got no respect for you because.
Or sympathy or anything.
Or sympathy because, you're sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah.
And you're complaining about it.
I tend to agree with that. I'd make like a slight change from my personal view. I would say, I respect anyone that's searching for a purpose.
Yeah.
And a lot of people give up in that search.
Yep.
I know for me, it's been like an ongoing journey. I suppose for everyone else, it is as well. It's just that thing of like what you said with FIFA. You just got to go in and do it. And people sometimes lose the battle of finding that purpose, and they give up. They say, they say like this wasn't meant for me, or this is too hard for me, and they just let sort of life pass them by.
Yeah.
And that's sort of one of the reasons why I want to do this podcast with you, because you're someone who has come out the other end ish. You're not at the end of your journey by any stretch of the
No, I haven't even started, to be honest.
Right.
People think I don't see myself as successful at all.
You sure?
No, I really don't.
Really?
I really don't. And I know that it sounds surprising when I tell people that.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like, from my perspective, I haven't even started.
Yeah.
Because once you see yourself as successful and you become complacent, you start losing. You can never see yourself as successful. Otherwise, as soon as you say, "Oh, I'm successful," you stop innovating, you stop adapting, and you become irrelevant.
You stop trying to be successful.
And once you become irrelevant and you give up, you lose.
Yeah.
The only time you lose is when you stop.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
If you continue working, you're never gonna lose. Even if you're losing in certain projects, you haven't lost until you stop.
Yeah.
Like, I was losing for years.
Yeah.
Nothing was going right for me.
Yeah.
For a long time.
So what advice do you think you'd have for someone who is in that period of, struggling and...
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Never give up. Like, once you give up, that's it. You're done. Like, you're irrelevant, you're washed up, you're old news, that's it.
Yeah. And that's what Alan was saying when I asked him what, like, the key characteristic of someone who wanted to be, self-employed is, and the most successful people, and he said perseverance is definitely key. Because
people, like, a lot of people, when I was just turned 17, I got screwed over before I started working with Alan, by my previous business partner, pretty much took everything from me.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, I had some money saved, but that was about it. I worked for an entire year, I built all these. I was working 16, 17
the
hours.
Actual product.
Took my business, changed my PayPal password, my bank passwords, took my Facebook pages. I had hundreds of thousands of followers on them, my Instagram pages, everything. And I had a skincare company as well. I funded personally thousands of units in a warehouse, changed the keys to the warehouse. Really? This guy just took everything from me. Like, 12 months worth of work, done. Yeah. And at this point, most people would have complained about that for the next 10 to 15 years and said, I had all this going for me, that's all his fault. Not for 1 second was I going to sit there and blame him. Because I blamed myself. I said, you know what, this was my fault for working with this person. Yeah. I let him manipulate me. I let him take that from me. I didn't protect myself properly with contracts. I didn't do things properly. I stuffed up. Yeah. I could have easily turned around and said, now I love the guy. I haven't spoken to him in years, but he made me who I am. Because I came out of that and I was so angry, but I didn't channel that anger into, hating myself, hating everyone, and hating him, and being spiteful and trying to get him back. I didn't get him back. I didn't do a single thing. I didn't even sue him.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I said, cool. I'm angry. But I'm fired up, and I'm gonna start another thing, and I'm gonna be so successful that one day he's gonna wish he never screwed me over.
Yeah. So that's the type of energy that I really try to, put manifest every day.
Yeah.
That thing of taking rejection or failure and just turning it into something positive and something you can build out of.
Yeah. And even if I saw him, I'd shake his hand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even even if he came to my nightclubs, I'd let him in. I'd have a drink with him. I hold nothing against the guy.
Yeah. No,
I really don't. But but I'll never forget what happened, and I think about my past experiences and failures every single day when I'm making business decisions. When I'm and Alan will vouch that whenever we meet certain people, I go, nah, stay away from that person, stay away from this person, because I've had that happen to me before.
Yeah.
And a lot of what's gotten me to this position is that experience.
Yeah.
But you got to also keep trying, because if I gave up, then it would have been an experience wasted.
Exactly. Right.
What I got was a gift.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying before.
So yeah.
Yeah. Every time you get pushed back, or I was talking about in my last podcast, I was saying.
Yeah.
How Jack Ma.
Yeah.
CEO of Alibaba or something like that. I'm pretty sure. He said people should take failure as a gift.
Yeah.
Or rejection as a gift, because that scenario wasn't for you.
Yeah.
And the person who did that has just given you information that you can use to then build yourself. So yeah.
Exactly. I love that experience.
Yeah.
And now that I look back at it, it was probably the best time of my life.
Yeah.
I'm so happy it happened, because that when you look back at these bad experiences, you actually realize it was the best time of your life. You were coming up from nothing, and it's so exciting. There's nothing. It's not as exciting now, because it's like, all right, we've got that momentum and safety net, and it's like, all right, cool.
Does that mean
kind of experienced everything
in the future?
Yeah, you got to keep upping the stakes, but it was more exciting visualizing what you're about to become, and you knew what was about to happen.
Yeah.
And it's exciting thinking about that, but when you get there, it's like,
yeah,
alright.
That's why it really rings true when people say it's the journey.
Oh, the journey's so much more fun to each different part.
Yeah. My
journey, I don't see it as having started, but things get less and less exciting once you know what to expect.
For sure.
It's like you do one. You're like, oh, I can't wait, I really want to be on TV, I really want to be on radio.
Once you get there, it's like, yeah.
I was more excited for my very first radio interview on some Greek radio station that no one listens to than I was about my 10 News interview that everyone watches. Because I've done so many in the past that it was like, alright. I got more excited when, my first video on Facebook got 50,000 views compared to when one of the videos I did got 66 million views. Yeah. Because it's like, alright, that first thing is the most exciting always.
That's the thing that shows you what you're doing is actually working. And once you know that, you're like, game.
I was more excited when we got our first 100 clients than when we got our first 10,000.
Yeah.
The climb from 5,000 to 10,000 was less exciting than the climb from 0 to 100.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's even though it's 5,000 clients, it's 500% more people.
And to the outside, people think, fuck, that's gotta be massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, alright.
Yeah, so on the topic of people that you surround yourself with, obviously the first person you work with didn't have that characteristic. What do you have to say in terms of who you surround yourself with and who you want to become?
In business or in personal life?
Both, man.
They're two different things. In your personal life, I think the best thing you need to have and the most important thing you need to have is, firstly, loyal people with good hearts.
Yeah, sorry.
In personal life, I think that's the most important thing, and finding those people is very hard. You'll probably only encounter 3 to 5 people that are loyal with good hearts that genuinely care about you in your life. And the reason it's so important to have that circle, I call it the inner circle. So you have different circles. You got your inner circle, you've got your outer circle, and you got your outer circle. Yeah. Your inner circle should only be 5 people. Yeah. And you've got your outer circle, which may be a few hundred. Just people you see here and there, and it's they're mates. You see them here and there. cool, like, you know. And then your outer circle, which is like people that have kind of heard of you, and then you've heard of them, and it's like, alright, you see each other whenever, like, and it's just like, you're their acquaintances.
Yeah.
But your inner circle is the most important, because your inner circle allows you to not care about the outer world.
Yeah.
Because if you've got 3 to 5 friends that love and care for you and have good hearts and always have your back, and you don't have to worry about them, nothing anyone else says matters.
Yeah.
Nothing anyone else does matters. Nothing can hurt you because you have that group.
Yeah, it's always the people that are closest that do the most harm. So yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's like, alright, I've been hurt today by this person. Oh, this happened today. This is a bad experience. Cool. I've still got my 3 to 5 mates I can go for coffee with, and they've got my back.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Nothing phases me anymore because I've got that support network.
Yeah, I reckon that's pretty sick because, and I want to ask you, is that the kind of way that you've learned to deal with, you know, people that are hating from afar?
100%.
Yeah.
You stay in that bubble. Because when you're in the world of business, there's millions of variables and distractions and everything around you. And there's so much energy, especially when you become public, like we recently have, there's so much energy transfer going on. So every time, because I'm a big believer in energy, for sure, we can talk about that, but every time someone speaks about you, that's energy.
Yeah.
Every time someone thinks about you, that's an energy transfer. Every time someone looks at you, it's an energy transfer. Everything that happens in the universe is an energy transfer. And when you're in the eyes of, like, you know, we're boosting our posts to millions of people, and you're in the eyes of so many people, you're like, we're on national television in other countries, for example. You don't even know what's going on there, like who's talking about you, where they're watching you, what people are thinking. That's all energy, and it all falls back on you. So at this point, you've got to be living in here. So you've got to be living in your head, and you've got to be living in your bubble of close friends in order to block that out and focus on what's important.
Yeah.
And that's when your inner circle becomes most important. It's in times of high energy transfer that your inner circle will either break you or make you.
Yeah.
And you see that in a lot of celebrities. I think a lot of celebrities that are broken never had that strong inner circle to say, hang on. Like Justin Bieber, for example, I don't think he had someone to say, hang on, still the same kid that you were 5 years ago, right? Don't do drugs, don't do that shit. We're still gonna have a coffee just like we did 5 years ago. The same person. I don't think he had that. I mean, I saw that in the way, like, you know, broken homes, stuff like that. So, you know, and often you don't get to choose your family or stuff like that. So it's important that you have the right friends. And people from a young age tend to choose bad friends as well. And this is my advice to younger people. They tend to choose bad friends because they think those friends are cool.
At that time.
At that time. And they block out good people that actually care. And that's a big mistake. Because those bad people will only be there during times where they value what you have. So if they value popularity, which a lot of the time these people
especially in high school, there's definitely that hierarchy of who's cool and who's not.
And you got to block that hierarchy out if you want to be something. Because that hierarchy, and I've said this before, how high school works is you've got the high school ladder, right, where everyone's trying to climb. Everyone's trying to get to the top of this ladder and be, you know, the sickest, whatever you want to call it, but the most popular person. And while they're climbing this ladder, they're kicking each other, they're hitting each other, they're punching each other, and everyone's trying to climb over each other to get up this ladder, and that comes in the form of talking crap about other people, social climbing, that sort of stuff. But when high school finishes, so when you reach the end of year 12, that ladder just burns, and everyone just falls to the bottom. There is no hierarchy after year 12. As soon as that graduation day happens, the hierarchy's finished. That ladder's burnt. So knowing that, that's not sustainable. So if you want to be successful after high school and in the real world, which is what matters, because high school is just a simulation.
It's a practice.
If you want to be successful in the real world, step aside and look at all these people climbing it and have a laugh at them because they're delusional. Like
high school is take note.
They're just dumb. Step aside and build your own ladder. And by building your own ladder and doing your own thing, no one knows what you're doing. So no one's there to kick you, hurt you, punch you, talk crap at it, because you're on your own ladder. And the good thing about this ladder is once year 12 finishes, it doesn't burn. So you're climbing this other ladder, there's burns, and you're still at the top of yours, still climbing. And you're just looking down at them at the end of high school. Because it's like, alright, Well, no one was there to destroy that ladder.
Yeah, I think this even translates to like a corporate social environment. Everything is transient, you know what I mean? Except for who you are as a person. Nothing will last except for you.
And Dan Bilzerian says that too.
Does he actually?
He says everything is about placement.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So he goes, people go to Dan Bilzerian, how do you get so many girls? Yeah. How do you get so many girls? Yeah. You know, does he talk to them? So he goes, it's just all positioning. I throw parties that girls want to come to. So I position myself so girls are around me constantly. Yeah. He sets up tanning salons, he sets up nail salons, parlors, things that girls want to be around. And naturally, they're around him as well because he's there too. It's like having a nightclub, right? All the girls are coming to your nightclub. You're not going to them. You're not going out of your way. Yeah. So you've positioned yourself there. The good thing about building your own ladder is you build your own world around it as well. So whatever you want in life isn't dictated by other people. The other ladder, there's too much noise in it. So there's so many variables and things that can influence your environment. On your ladder, you create your own environment. So if you want an office, you can do that. You can have an office that you can come to. If you want to start a business in this industry and meet people in that industry, you can do that and put yourself in the position that allows you to live the life you want. And that's why I love entrepreneurship. It's the only thing in the world that allows you to maintain that, I guess you can call it, clout and that social status, and also that environment that doesn't also come with the downside. Yeah. Because celebrities also get that, but they get the downside of that, which is a lot of hate. Yeah. They get paparazzi following them everywhere. They get all of that. When you're an entrepreneur, you get all that clout and that status, but no one gives a crap enough to be outside your house taking photos. Yeah. So you don't get the downside of it. Yeah. So you get everything. Yeah. And that's why it's such a good thing. Also, when that kind of attention gets pulled from them, they fall off as well, and they go funny. Yeah. Whereas entrepreneurs like an Elon Musk, no one cares enough about Elon Musk to be taking photos outside his house. Yeah. There's nothing good about him. You know, there's nothing people are attracted to about him specifically. It's about what he's built and what he's created. Correct. So yeah, just like Travis Scott or like Kylie Jenner, he gets the same stuff. Yeah. He still gets the money. He still can get whoever he wants. Yeah. He still can, meet whoever he wants. He still has that power and that status, but without any of the downside. Yeah. Which is why it's a pretty cool industry to dominate if you know what you're doing. Yeah. No, fair enough. That's a really good point. Now I want you to elaborate a bit about the whole energy thing. Are you kind of referring to that, like, law of attraction, or more like karma-based thing? Yeah, law of attraction is one thing I believe in. Like, I believe if you think about something enough, you're gonna get it. As long as you do the work. Yeah. It depends on how bad you want it. The person that wants something the most bad tends to get it. I think there's definitely, like, I wouldn't say I fully agree with that. For the reason being is there some things that you, no matter how bad you want it, the way you go about getting it and wanting it that bad is like pulling you away from it. So I guess an obvious example is with getting into a relationship or trying to find someone, a significant other. If you are always showing, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, it usually doesn't happen. But what the distinction that you're making is, when you are putting all that energy in, but also doing the work, you get what you want. But it's not just about the work; it's the practicality. Okay. So this is another layer to it. Yeah, go. I can't go and say I want to be like Michael Jordan. As bad as I want to be like Michael Jordan, if I don't have a biological body to be like Michael, if I don't have the height or the stamina or the strength or whatever, I'm never going to be like Michael Jordan. Yeah. Right? Which is where practicality comes into it. You got to choose something that you're naturally already good at and double down on that, and then want whatever the goal is of that thing the most. So if you're naturally really, really, really good at maths and you love maths, do something that involves maths and be the best at that. Work your hardest in that and want it more than everyone else that's good at maths. Yeah. And you'll get it. But it's like, same thing goes in a relationship. Practicality comes into it. If you're with someone, you gotta really just be practical. If you're with someone that isn't good for you, no matter how much you want it, you're never gonna have a healthy and a happy relationship. Yeah. Because you're not compatible. Yeah. And that's where forced relationships never work. And I've been in those positions before, and you try to force it and it doesn't work. But on the other hand, one that comes naturally, and you really get along, like, which I've also been experienced as well now. Yeah. But it tends to work really, really well, and you end up being really happy. And if you want it really bad, you end up having the best relationship ever as well. So practicality is another layer that comes into all of those things.
Yeah.
Can this actually work?
Yeah.
You gotta really be real with yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to be real with themselves.
Yeah,
like
sure.
they want to be singers, but they can't sing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can, like you might want to be the best singer in Australia, but if you can't sing, you can't sing. So pick something else.
Yeah, and you may like singing, but it just might be that you don't do the singing.
Well, if you can't sing, you can't sing. Like, if you're not creative and you're not innovative, you're not going to be an entrepreneurial.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to be real with yourself as well.
Yeah. Like, it's tough for people to do that because it uncovers a lot of trauma that people don't want to deal with. And as you build up over time, it becomes harder and harder, and then you just spiral.
It's people that are good with their hands. And for some reason, a lot of them don't want to do a trade because there's a negative stigma around tradies in some families and some cultures. Like, people think they're dumb, but they're really not.
No.
They're actually, a lot of them are the smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
And they start multi-billion-dollar businesses.
Yeah.
Because they understood, hang on, I'm good with my hands, I'm good at creating things, or I'm good at this particular thing. I'm not good at school, so why am I focusing on something I'm not good at? I'm never going to beat the people that are good at school because they're better than me naturally. I'm going to go into this and climb my own ladder. It goes back to climbing your own ladder. If you're constantly and this is a mistake I made as a kid, when I was like 13, 14, I used to look at, oh, this guy's making a lot of money here, I should be in this industry. Oh, that guy's making a lot of money in that industry. Oh, dropshipping's doing really well, I gotta do dropshipping now. Oh, Amazon FBA, oh, I gotta do that now. Hang on. Like, if you're changing every single month and you're basing what you're going to do off what other people are doing, you're never going to succeed at the one thing that you're good at. And I realized this before I was 15. I realized I got to find out what I'm good at, and I got to stick to that industry, and I got to block out all the distractions, stick in my group of friends, block out all the distractions, block out everything, and focus on that pathway. And that's what was really life-changing for me. Yeah. And that's something I recommend to people. If you've chosen an industry, you're good at it, you love it, don't delve into other things because that's what those people are good at. Don't focus on what they're good at. That's their stuff. Like, I can look at other people doing real estate and say, oh, they're making a killing in real estate. Real estate's not me. I don't know anything about it. I need to stick with tech because that's what I'm doing.
And also that links to what you just said. The tradies are sometimes people who make the multi-billion-dollar companies. That also links to what we were talking about before in experience. They're at a different place every week. They constantly they might be doing the same things, but they're around different people. They're having to do use different skills in some scenarios. And every job is not the same, correct? So this kind of, confirms the thing you said about, just going through experiences, and that kind of makes more sense in my head at least. Yeah,
because the more you experience something, the better you're going to get at it. And if you're already naturally good at it and you really want to be the top of it, everything I've spoken about comes together and you win. But if you're jumping from thing to thing and you don't really know what you want, you can't visualize, you're never going to get anywhere.
Now speaking about your partnership with Alan, I've definitely seen, we were talking about this before, how you guys kind of complement each other in your sort of business strategy. How Alan can sit there and grind, day in and day out, and keep the company going. Not that you don't, but and then you come in after having like 3 or 4 weeks off, and then put the company forward like 2 to 3 years within, or in potential, in a short period. How essential do you think that partnership is for the growth of people who? Yeah,
so the way I see it, like, I like to guide the ship. That's the way we say it. So like, in that 2 to 3 weeks, like, people will think, oh, Foti's not really doing much. He's only doing 4 to 5 hours of work a day or whatever. I used to be a grinder, but I don't really do that as much anymore. But what I'm actually thinking of is ideas. Think of the next thing, the next thing, the next brand, the next move. Because business is like a chess game. Where we're going to move on this, or we're going to move on that. And a lot of it's actually just planting seeds. And those seeds tend to sprout at the same time. So a lot of it's like, all right, we're going to buy into this building. This is like one thing we're doing. We're going to buy into this building. That building is going to result in us creating 4 new businesses by leveraging that building, that asset. Through buying that building, we're going to have access to this other building where we can start this business. All right, cool. But after making that purchase and buying into that building, I might have to wait a few weeks before I can make the next move to get to the next thing. So a lot of it's just a waiting game, and my job tends to be thinking of that next move and that next I guess, strategy whilst Alan keeps it afloat, and then help, and then together we execute the start of them, and then Alan is very good at like automating.
Yeah.
Once we've executed, so he'll.
That's definitely key.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll launch something together. Alan will find a way to automate it, build a team, teach them all how to do all the nitty-gritty stuff. Then we move on to the next thing, and then so I guide the vision, the ideas, and then the moves essentially.
Yeah. Okay. For the people watching at home, you said how you are sort of the ideas man of the team. Do you let those ideas come to you, or you like how do you go about finding like an innovative way to progress forward?
I'm just thinking about it 24/7.
Yeah.
So I don't like even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about it. Like I wake up at night and I write things.
Yeah.
Like my desk is just full of sticky notes of different stuff connecting things. Like I'll see things and then just write it down, write this down, and then I connect everything and it all makes sense in my head, but it doesn't make sense to anyone else.
For sure.
Because I can't explain it.
As well.
I tell my dad all this stuff and he's like, I don't even know what's going on. But anyway, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just a leverage game.
Yeah.
Business is just a leverage game. Leverage this to get this, leverage that to get this, leverage this to get this, combine it all together and make it blow up. And that leverage takes sometimes time, and it takes the right team behind it. And that's why Alan and I, without each other, are nothing.
Yeah.
Like without him, I wouldn't be anything.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like I'm useless without him. Like, and he said the same thing to me, even though he might not admit it, but he like before he met me, like if we look at what he was doing, so that's where we came together, and it was just an amazing partnership. And I've learnt a lot from him, and he's actually learnt a lot from me as well.
Yeah,
he's come a very long way from when I met him.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that, but
we won't get into specifics.
But I've come a long way too.
Yeah.
So it's been a really cool journey.
Now, I want to ask you about something that a lot of successful people kind of talk about often, and it's reading.
Yeah.
Do you read?
No.
You don't?
No. A lot of people will disagree with me on this, but I prefer to be often as naive as possible.
Okay.
I don't like to know, and I don't like knowing processes. I don't like knowing formal approaches to things. That's not my area. I don't want to know business theory. Because it makes you less creative.
Yeah.
When you start learning business theory, you start thinking like a business person, and you start putting formulas and you start putting rules on things.
I think
and that makes you dumber. And a funny thing with this.
Yeah, go.
In America, what's happening now? Investors are less likely to invest in an MBA student's idea than a non-MBA student's idea.
Really?
So if someone's got a master's in business, investors are actually refraining from investing in them. And a lot of investors are now are preferring people without degrees because they find those people are more creative and hungry and more likely to succeed statistically.
Yeah, that's great.
MBAs are flopping more businesses than non-MBAs.
And why do you think that is?
And I know this will get a lot of backlash, but it's true.
Man. It's true. Backlash.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like you can look this up.
Yeah.
MBAs are failing in business because they've got preconceived ideas of what business is.
Yeah.
And the business world has no rules. So it's directly contradictory. You're working in a world with no rules and you're trying to apply rules to it. There are no rules in this world.
It's like trying to paint a video.
It's not school. There are no rules in this world.
Yeah.
There's the law, but there are no rules.
Yeah. There's like governing principles around it. Yeah.
Like, naturally you got to apply it, but there are no rules.
And do you think coming from that aspect, where you remain kind of naive, it's better for you to uphold that sort of value that you want to bring to people because you're literally amongst that crowd who has like pretty much cold to your idea? Do you think that helps the innovation? Yeah. Yeah. Because
I don't know rules, so I just come up with my own ones.
Yeah. And
my rules tend to work better, as I've seen.
Yeah.
Like we were smashing our competitors.
Yeah.
And a lot of like in everything we did, we were dominating those industries.
Yeah.
And we still are.
Yeah.
Like I came into industries with little to no experience and beat people with 15 years experience because they had rules and processes in their head that they were taught. I came in, I said, who says that this can't have this? Who says that a nightclub can't have an app?
Yeah.
Who says that there's one way to do something?
Yeah.
No, like I never looked at them. There's another rule, like, there's another thing people say. It's not a rule, but it's something people say.
Yeah.
You should never look at your competitors and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies. Like, if you're looking at what other people are doing, you're just going to end up replicating what they're doing, and you're not innovating, and you're not going to beat them. You can't beat someone by imitating them.
Yeah.
You got to be ahead of them.
It's that quote, winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, if you wanted to get into, you know, dental hygiene, and you're sitting there copying every dental hygiene company, how are you going to beat them?
I think education is kind of at fault, is kind of a harsh way to put it, but that's what I think, because all your life you're taught to copy off a textbook, copy off of this, copy off of that, memorize, and then regurgitate.
Yep. That doesn't work.
Yeah, for sure. One, you said you respect people that want to pursue that type of career, but how did you kind of get yourself out of that sort of repetitive thing from school, or did you not even have it, or did you, like, tell me about that?
To be honest, I was, and
because I know you did well in school.
I did pretty well in school, but I was so petrified as a kid of working a job.
Yeah.
It was like my biggest, like, I used to have, remember I had a nightmare, like, I was at a job interview and I was showing this guy, like, I'm like, yeah, I've done this business and that business, and the guy goes, well, why are you here? I still remember this dream. And the guy at the interviewer was like to me, like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Like, if things like what went wrong, he asked me that question, and then I woke up and I was like sweating, and I was like,
wow.
I was just petrified of working a job. Like, it was my biggest fear. Yeah. Like, someone telling me what to do all the time, because I hated being told what to do.
Yeah, I relate.
Like, I remember when a teacher would tell me what to do, I didn't tend to like backlash, but I feel my blood pressure boiling. like I just wanted to go crazy. When a teacher would say to me, you know, you can't leave the room for 2 minutes. Like, I'm like, no, I'll leave the room whenever I want to leave the room. Like, you can't tell me what to do. I hated being told what to do, and I'm like, if I'm gonna live my whole life like this, I'm gonna end up killing myself. But you know, that's just me. Like, not everyone's like that. Yeah. Like I said, some people are happier being told what to do.
And then did that create problems with, like, your parents and stuff?
Yeah, 100%. Because I just, like, they'd be like, oh, stay home tonight. I'd be like, no, I'm going out.
Yeah.
Like, and no one could really control me. Yeah. And I hated being controlled. I hated authority.
Yeah.
But that's just me, and people that are like that don't necessarily, like I said earlier, don't necessarily tend to be the happiest people, because they like to live life on their own terms, and when you live life on your own terms, you live a volatile life.
When you fail, you fail. Yeah.
When you drop, you drop. When you're up, you're up. But when you drop, you drop, and it's a very up and down life, because no one's telling you what to do.
But in the grand scheme of things, do you reckon it's balanced? Like,
you only hear about the successes of that lifestyle, but 95% of, like, the 9 to 5 works.
For sure, man.
It works. Sure. It's like, everyone hates on it, but it works.
Yeah.
Going out on your own is freaking scary, man.
Yeah.
And, like, it's scary. Yeah. Like, you wake up in the morning, no one's telling you to go to work. No one's telling you anything. No one's telling you what industry to do. You've got to really trust yourself and believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, don't bother.
Yeah, and that's one of the rules that I've kind of made for myself.
Yeah.
And kind of a weird example, but I learnt it from playing chess.
Yeah.
And that rule was never listen to anybody, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're in control of your chess pieces.
Yeah.
No, you see the entire picture. Someone walks over and says, "Oh yeah, just do that." You end up doing it. They don't cop any of the backlash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You cop all the, now you get this happens, and then this, and then all that leads to a loss. And the bigger you become, the bigger the loss. Exactly. There's a saying, like, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Exactly right. It's in the song Timber, but but it's true. When you become, like, now, if something bad happens, everyone's gonna know about it. Yeah. Like, it's public. Yeah. You know. Are you scared of that? Of course. Yeah. Like, but I'm also not, because, you know, I'm just, even if it does happen, I'm gonna make the next big thing, and, you know, and I'm just gonna keep moving forward. I don't care. It's part of the story. Like, I just want to create a really cool story. Yeah. And that's something I want to do. And you'll find, even in a lot of art, that, you know, the negative side of things often creates the most beautiful art. So yeah. Yeah, you look at every successful person, there was a point in their life where everyone had their backs turned. Yeah. And there was even a point in mine, like, that, you know, it wasn't really public, but
everyone a lot of people turned their backs on me, and I had that inner circle of 3 to 5 people to get me out, and that's why it's so important to have that, because, and here's another good point to take home. You'll find true people when they're there for you in your good times and your bad, and there's a reason for this, because a lot of people confuse it. They say, you got to be there for me during my bad times. It's not all about just the bad times. People will leave you in both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
People will leave you during your good times. People will also leave you during your bad. And this is where everyone gets confused. It's very easy for certain people to be there for you when you're down because they feel above you. It's very easy to sit in the car with someone and give them advice because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you should do this and this and this. And you're feeling, and a lot of these people feel like the man, like they're like, I'm above this, but I'm giving him advice.
No, I actually haven't thought about that.
I'm the best.
Yeah.
But when you're high, when you're up, you're above them. They won't even message you. They won't even talk to you. They don't want anything to do with you because they're intimidated.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people that are there for you during both are the real people.
Yeah.
So people that are there for you during high, they'll feel happy for you. They'll be like, yeah, let's go higher. They'll keep you humble. They'll genuinely want the best for you. They won't blow you up. They won't blow your ego. They'll say, hey, you're still the same person.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah. Calm down.
Right, calm down.
Yeah.
When it's a bad time, they'll say,
come up,
brother, come up. We're gonna get through this. Yeah. And they're the genuine people.
Yeah.
But people will leave you on both stages of the spectrum. And until you've experienced both, you don't really know who's genuine.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty sick. I haven't thought about it like that before, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
In terms of the fear you talked about before of say failure or even just starting, like a lot of people have that really huge fear of just even getting in front of a camera. It's not as easy as it looks for someone who hasn't done it.
Yeah.
And they have fear. So how would you go about dealing with that?
Dealing with fear, the best way to overcome fear is just to face it. And just force yourself to face it.
Yeah.
Like, you're never gonna, it's like skydiving. You're never gonna face the fear, you're never gonna get over the fear of skydiving until you skydive.
Yeah.
Or you're never gonna get over the fear of riding a bike until you ride a bike.
Yeah.
So you just gotta go in balls deep.
Yeah.
And really just do it.
And then I think you'll find that when you're actually in the process of it, you don't really know why you were scared in the first place.
Yeah, because a good way to do that, to help yourself overcome fear, think of the worst possible scenario, and it's usually not that bad.
Yeah.
Like,
it might be embarrassing.
It's like riding a bike. What's the worst? You scrape your knee.
Yeah. Or
you fall over and you hurt your elbow.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that bad. It's like, what's the worst thing that can happen from failing in a business? Alright, you learn something, you fail, you lose a few $1,000s, but the lesson will be worth way more money in the future anyway.
Yeah.
And your parents say, I was right. Yeah, my mom said when everything was going wrong, she said, I was right, you should have you should just go focus on school, you should get a job. This was many years ago. I was right, everything's gone wrong. I'm like, hang on, Mum, not everything's gone wrong. I've learned and I haven't given up. So how's everything gone wrong? She said, it's not working. I'm like, it's not working now.
Yeah.
What about in a year? She said, if it's not working now, it's not going to work in a year. I'm like, alright, well, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah. I find that's one of the best motivations is to try and prove people wrong or just even prove yourself wrong.
And I did prove her wrong. As we're coming out, we're now earning, I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but double her salary in a month.
There you go.
So, and I'm not saying that to be arrogant or cocky.
For sure.
I'm saying that to show that...
The facts, man.
Yeah.
It's truth.
And, at one point it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So, and she looks at that now and she can't really say anything, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
For sure.
But like I said, it goes back, the volatility comes into it too.
Yeah.
Next year I could be earning nothing, we don't know.
Exactly right.
So you can't get arrogant or big-headed because in the world of business and the world of independence, things can change very quickly.
For sure.
That's why you gotta keep your circle, you gotta believe in yourself, you gotta learn from everything, and you can never get complacent or cocky because that's when you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Because it's so volatile, you gotta move like the military.
Yeah.
So,
changing pace a bit.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know where your religious beliefs lie.
My religious beliefs?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I think...
And you don't have to have a certain... You don't have to say it.
Yeah, I don't have a certain... Like, I'm a raised Greek Orthodox. For me to say that I don't believe in religion or that I do believe in religion, I think is... I don't think anyone really knows anything about this world. Because I've gone through many transitions with my beliefs.
Yeah, same.
But what I've come to is that no one knows anything.
Yeah.
And it's arrogant for you to say one thing's right and another's not.
Very
because you don't... Because there's no evidence for or against any religion or belief or energy or anything.
Yeah.
Now, I think religion can be healthy for certain people because it gives you hope. And personally, I like to believe in the afterlife. I like to believe in energy. I like to believe in a higher power. And I do believe that there is a higher power.
Yeah.
But I don't... I'm not gonna say anyone's right or wrong. And I'm open to everything.
Yeah. No.
Because no one knows anything.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's definitely agree. Yeah, higher power is... There's just something in us that can't...
There's something
discredit it.
There's something I feel. It's like something I feel, and it's like I think if there's no life after death, I believe this is what I believe. I believe everything in the world has a purpose and a meaning.
Yeah.
I believe there's a meaning for us being here. I believe there's a meaning for everything in the world being here.
Yeah.
I don't think everything's random, and you know.
So you think you have a destiny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anything is random. I refuse to believe everything's just randomly happened and there was a big bang. I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
I just don't believe it. And if there's no life after death, I think it contradicts everything having a purpose. Because that makes your life it gives your life no purpose. If nothing happens once you die, then there was no purpose to your existence. Because
some people would retaliate, but to that by saying that you make your own purpose
during this time.
The whole reason.
But in the span of the universe, which is infinite.
Yeah.
This is what I think, which is been around for billions of years from what we know.
From what we know, yeah. But even then, we could be inside a simulation where time is something that you can change or something like that, like how you play.
Yeah.
Like a Minecraft, you can increase or change the time whenever you want and the speed at which it. You know what I mean?
I don't really know, but that's what I believe. I reckon there's a purpose. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. But that's what I like to believe.
Does that belief system kind of help you in your day-to-day life?
Yeah. I think I do feel like someone's protecting me.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of close calls.
Yeah.
Things of like I almost even got shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was about 10 seconds away from getting shot.
That's it.
Yeah, probably killed.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there was a shooting at a nightclub. I'm not gonna say which one.
Yeah.
It happened right as I was crossing the street. And I was getting gut feelings about something happening that night, and I still remember them. So it's unfortunate it happened to someone else.
Yeah, for sure. I had a really good thought, and then you just blew my mind. Oh yeah. So, do you think that? So you would call that like a near-death experience? Do you think that changed you in any way? And
I saw the whole thing like.
Really?
Right up close.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's more stories like that have been pretty like dangerous situations, like just from all the experiences I've had.
Yeah.
But do I think that changed me? Not really. But I think it solidified. I think not that particular moment, but I think the hundreds of experiences I've had have solidified in my head that there is a destiny and a path. And I think everything that's happened, that's led me up to this moment, has happened for a reason. Because one thing that's happened that's bad has led to something much better coming out of it.
For sure.
And I don't think that's random.
Prime example is like your first business partner screwing you over.
I was just going to say, yeah. And it's like even relationships, like one failed relationship, a lot of people tend to sob and cry and don't sob and cry about it.
I don't understand that either.
Learn from it. Take what you can from it and apply it to your next relationship to make it better. And don't cry about it because there's someone better for you out there. And if it didn't work for a reason.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, no, not everything happens for a reason. No, I like to believe it happened for a reason. And and you'll find most of those people a year or two later, they find the love of their life, or 5 years later they find the love of their life. and then they'll say the same thing that I'm saying, that their previous exes were there for a reason.
Yeah, so it's a thing you can only kind of understand in hindsight. Yeah.
It's only something I understood why my business partner screwed me over when I met Alan.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I understood it. Because he was like, I met him and I found out he was honest. Sometimes too honest.
Yeah.
And I liked that, Alan.
Yeah.
He was very honest. Like, we'd go to meetings and he'd say things sometimes too honestly. Like we'd be sitting with a client and he'd go, oh, you're Asian. Do you like Asian food? Like, there was no filter. There was no filter. Yeah. And I'm like, sometimes I'd hold my head and be like...
Yeah, I think when you watch the podcast I did with him, you would definitely get...
He's just so honest, and and a lot of people hated that.
Yeah.
But I loved that because I was in partnership with a dishonest person for so long that would lie constantly. And I said, the next business partner I have would have to be honest. And that's where I learned, and that's why that happened for a reason. If I never met my previous business partner, I might not have known to value that particular trait.
Exactly right.
Or those particular traits.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have partnered with someone like Alan.
Yeah.
So, I learned that honesty is very important and loyalty is very important. And I saw both of those traits, which is why we partnered together. A big reason why I wanted to work with him so bad.
Yeah. Alright, man, looking to the future, I don't want to hear about like your next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I want to know what your kind of big ambitions are and what you're kind of doing to raise the stakes in your future. So what are the big dreams?
The next step is to solve bigger and bigger problems.
Yeah.
Because entrepreneurship is just solving problems. That's all it is. You're profiting off solving problems. So we want to solve multi-billion-dollar problems. That's the next step. We've solved multi-million-dollar problems up to now, which has been cool.
Yeah.
But now it's the next step, and it's becoming internationally recognised.
Yeah.
Like in Melbourne, we're quite recognised in the business world.
Yeah.
I think most business people have heard of us.
Yeah.
But it's now we want to become really international and build our brands, build our businesses, and solve multi-billion-dollar problems that are used by millions of people around the world.
Yeah. So if you can, do you have any sort of examples of what you might be thinking?
Yeah, we want to remove the barriers in the app industry.
Yeah.
We want to offer cheap and affordable marketing solutions to people. We want to and I think the biggest problem right now in the world that we want to solve is allowing more people to start up businesses easily.
Yeah. That's
and that's something that we're going to go into in a lot of ways that I haven't even spoken about because I don't always let people know the next steps. But we're gonna create products that allow people to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking guru courses for 20 grand. I'm talking software that allows people to create products and innovate and make money themselves. Because that's where the future's heading. And the 9 to 5, it works, but a lot of people are trying to escape it.
Yeah.
As we've seen.
Yeah.
There's a reason gurus are selling courses for 20 grand, selling the dream. Everyone wants to get out of it. There's a reason entire building floors are selling out to corporates that want to get out of the corporate system. There's a reason all this stuff's selling. Yeah. And I think it's all a big scandal. But what I want to...
So you're saying the real value's not being...
The real value is in innovating. And we want to create resources that allow people to innovate. We want to cut the barriers of knowledge and money. Because the reason a lot of people aren't innovating is because platforms don't exist for them to innovate with. Platforms like, for example, if you use Xcode is a platform that allows you to innovate. You need to know Swift, which is a programming language.
Yeah, so that's for making apps,
Yeah, and it's often very expensive and time consuming to either hire someone that knows Swift or to learn Swift yourself. Yeah, so that's a barrier.
Apps can go from anywhere upwards of 100k.
They can go for millions.
Millions, yeah.
Like some apps are selling for $2 million. People are charging $2 million to build an app. Yeah. That's a barrier. Yeah, for sure. And there's so many of these barriers in every single industry. We want to eliminate those for people. Yeah. And that's how you solve a multi-billion-dollar problem, and that's how you stimulate the economy, and that's how you help millions of people. And you do it right.
No, that's inspiring. Yeah, that's really tight. I guess I also wanted to ask you what your opinion of social media is right now. In terms of a place where people exchange with each other every day, and it's so just go.
I think it's all about how you use it.
Yeah.
It's like you can use a hammer to kill someone, or you can use it to build a bridge.
For sure.
If you use social media to your advantage, it's a really powerful tool.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool it's a really cool offering that the world has. You can communicate with anyone, you can meet new people, you can, you know, sell products, you can do so much stuff with it. But yeah, like you can use it for anything. But the problem is most people use it for watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or they use it for toxic stuff. Yeah. And that's fine, you know, if you want Kendall and Kylie to profit off it, because that's what they're doing. Yeah, but most people don't think like that. But yeah, you know, everything on social media is so strategic, and it's strategically set up by some really, really intelligent people. Yeah, the Kardashians are super intelligent. Everyone calls them dumb, but they're very smart. Yeah, like they know how to get attention. They know how to captivate people. They know how they understand, and they understand. What's the mom's name, Chris? Yeah, she's the mastermind. Yeah. But they understand this simple word, and it's called viral. They understand viral better than anyone in the world. Trump understands viral. 6ix9ine understands viral. Kanye understands viral. They understand that word. And clout is a currency. It's an offering, because not all offerings in the world. And it's very it's not very tangible. You know what I mean? Not all currency in the 21st century doesn't have to be money. Yeah. It can be clout. It can be knowledge. And the thing with that, which makes it so, you know, it makes people like you be able to do the things that you've done, is because you can't grab clout and throw it up. I'll watch back. But yeah, as I was saying, the thing with that sort of social status, or how you say clout, is that you can't grab it and put it under your mattress. Yeah. There's ways in which you can use it, spend it, and store it. And convert it. And convert it, for sure. That not a lot of people understand. Like, really not a lot of people understand that. Yeah, celebrities, like, can tell you to do anything, and they can get millions of people to do something. And that's where clout can be converted into currency. Yeah. Clout can be converted into a lot of things. You know, and people leverage each other's clout to raise each other. Yeah. You see that with celebrities, like when they sell their souls to record labels, sell their souls. Like they leverage each other's clout to. That's when they do collabs, like Nicki Minaj will collab with 6ix9ine, or vice versa. And they usually get fucked over, bro. There's when they say selling their souls, I think there's a sort of weird aspect, but I'll talk about the financial aspect. Is that they sell their talent for literally a slither of the profit, just to get recognized. Because record labels tend to find very desperate people. Yeah. And that's where I think artists need to look at what Jay-Z or Dr. Dre did and replicate that, because they're the rich, they're the real rich ones. I think Jay-Z's a billionaire. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's a billionaire. Yeah. And I think Dr. Dre's worth 800 or 900 million. Yeah. Whereas you see Tiger, for example, has a $5 million net worth. Really? Yeah, look up Tiger net worth, it's only $5 million. You'd think it's like 50 or 100, but it's 5 million. Yeah. 6ix9ine's net worth is only 6 million, I'm pretty sure. They're not worth much money. Yeah. And the reason that illusion that like gets people. And the reason they're not worth much is because I think from what I understand is they sign a deal with the record label, they get money given to them up front, and they're promised clout. Yeah. And that's what they get. Yeah. But I mean their careers die very early, which goes back to what I was saying with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs have it the best because they're able to sustain clout for their entire lives. And they're able to sustain respect for their entire lives. Artists, on the other hand, tend not to be. Yeah. And if you look at Jay-Z and Dr. Dre, not only were they artists, they were entrepreneurs. Yeah. And that's why, to this day, even Kanye, to this day, are still respected, are still making a lot of money, are still in the public eye. Yeah. Whereas you look at... I mean, they don't even have to be. Like Jay-Z's, you barely see Jay-Z. I guarantee you in 10 years you won't even know 6ix9ine. No one's going to know 6ix9ine. He's interesting. He's interesting. I don't know. But he's not an entrepreneur or a business person. Yeah. And that's why he's not going to last. Yeah. Like many of them haven't. So would you say he's like, he would find out, he can't even, with the clout he has, he can't convert it because he literally doesn't own it. No. So that's that thing, yeah. Yep. So you really got to look at Jay-Z and replicate that. And they would have done something different. Like a lot of prodigies just based off him. Like, for instance, Kanye. And I don't really know like the other artists. He would have owned his own businesses. Yeah, well, I think what they do is, I think he even would have owned a little bit of what the prodigies make, because people, obviously when you come up as a rapper or an artist, you look to co-sign other people, right? And then they sign a contract based off you promote them. Like, you see all of those albums, like Travis Scott, he released, Jack Boys, with like, just to promote his co-signed artists, and then they make other people big, and then they just create that never-ending chain. Correct. It's kind of interesting how the successful ones make the prodigies, and then that's how they continue their legacy. So yeah, they're the proper smart people.
you think you see a way of kind of transferring that energy, because I know you like energies, into what you're doing?
I mean, we might even start a record label.
Yeah. What do you call it?
I don't know. We actually started Clout Records with Quay, our business partner, for certain projects that we have, because we've got business partners for every different project we do. We bring in people that are good for that particular. So we put teams together. That's what Alan and I do. That's more so my job. So I'll find 4 or 5 people. I'll say, all right, we're gonna go. This is the team. This is the project. This is the idea. This is the concept. And then Alan's very good at making it all work from there as well. But I'm good at finding that right team. And that's why when we execute projects, we kill it, because we've got the right people, and the skills don't overlap. And I learned that from my first business partner. If your skills overlap, you've got a bad team, because you've all got the same skill set. If you've got a team of salespeople, who's going to do the back end? Who's going to do the financials? Who's going to do the branding? Who's going to do the marketing? Because marketing and sales are different. Who's going to do all that?
And then you have to pay for people to do it, and then it just...
If you've got a team of opportunists, nothing's going to get done, because you're all opportunists. You're all probably just visionaries. Like, you're just going to be sitting there thinking of stuff. Like, when no one's going to implement. So that's where you need to have a team of complementary players, where everyone's got their own. You want to have someone that does macro influencers, micro influencers, Google and Facebook advertising, back-end development, programming, ideas. You can't have 6 ideas, guys. And Alan and I have been able to execute just on our own a lot of projects, because our skill sets are so broad and nothing overlaps. We don't overlap almost anything. So it's great.
That is pretty cool. What were we talking about before?
Record labels.
Right.
But we might start our own record label, and I do want to help a lot of other entrepreneurs. I actually give a lot of free advice to people. I like in a lot of people.
Podcast, man.
Yeah, a lot of people will vouch. Like, I'll sit on the phone with someone for 2-3 hours, and I won't charge them, and I'll literally map out their whole business.
And when you have other people who are the gurus charging like hundreds of dollars for consulting calls.
The thing with those people is they're trying to sell you the next call a lot of the time.
What do you mean?
So they'll bring you to a free seminar, and then they'll sell you their product. And then when they sell you their product, you'll pay $2,000. You'll go to the next seminar, and then they'll sell you their $20,000 14-day course.
Because you're already through their funnel.
They'll go through a funnel, and because you're already $2,000 balls deep, you're willing to spend another 10. So they're not, and they won't actually give you what you need. The only way you can really get what you need from a mentor is you sit with them one-on-one, and they say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is what you gotta do, there's no cookie cutter approach to business.
And do you have any mentors that you'd like to attribute your growth
Not
to?
really.
No? That's crazy. That's something that really surprises me when I talk to you and Alan, is that you don't really attribute anything to a sort of mentor. Whereas a lot of people successful, I can't even say that. I just know that for me personally, I've benefited plenty from a mentor, and it kind of takes away that learning curve, and a lot of people pay a lot of money for having that mentorship.
A lot of successful people, a lot of the reason there's a stigma around mentors as well is because gurus, which are the business faces, they're not the business people, they're the faces, because they're trying to sell you business courses. We'll always say in videos, you need a mentor. You need a mentor, you need a mentor, you need a mentor, and they'll just constantly preach that you need a mentor. And the reason they're preaching that is often to sell their course. They're like, I'll be your mentor. Just pay me $20,000. But you don't often need one. I think having one's really good though. I think the way I see it, I've had probably hundreds of mentors, because I take something from everyone I meet. But I don't have one specific mentor. I always like, when I meet successful people, I try to learn as much as I can from them. I'm always open-minded, even and I always will be till my grave. Like always open-minded. There's something to learn from everyone. Like, and a lot of people, like when I was 16, 17, I didn't have a lot of money or success, but I was smart. Like I knew a lot of stuff for my age, and a lot of older people, the dumb older people would say, oh, I'm not gonna listen to you. You're an idiot kid. The smart ones, they'd say, "Oh, what do you know about Facebook? What do you know about Instagram?" You know, and they'd learn from me, even though I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something to learn even from my 9-year-old cousin who understands TikTok better than I do.
For sure, 100%.
So there's something. Never be, absent-minded. I'll never be like, never discriminate people.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our clients we've picked up from junkies at the club.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, I know this guy worth $50 million. He's my uncle. He needs your services." That's why you should be nice to everyone.
Yeah,
Don't discriminate people.
Sure,
There's
100%.
something to gain from everyone, and they've all got something to gain from you. And that's how business works. There's no such thing as using each other or discriminating, because you're never going to gain anything from that.
Yeah, and that kind of plays into your energy thing, because when you give out all this good energy,
you get it back.
It's going to come back tenfold.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's why people at the club, they're like, "Oh, why are you wasting your time talking to this guy? He's an idiot." Well, no, why am I wasting my time talking to you? You're an idiot for thinking that.
Exactly. Yeah. People. Yeah.
Be friends with everyone.
100%. What do you think you attribute your success to?
The way I measure it for myself is, I think if I died tomorrow, have I done everything I've wanted to do up to this point?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then I feel successful. If the answer is no, then I need to get my ass in gear. Because it's like, if tomorrow something tragic happened, I don't know, whatever. If the world ended tomorrow, have I done every single thing I wanted to do up to this point? Because that's how I measure success. Up to this point, I've done everything I've wanted to do.
Yeah.
So up to this point, I view myself as successful. In the scope of things, I'm just getting started. Yeah. So I don't see myself as successful in terms of my life journey yet at all.
Yeah.
I think I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
Because if I live the full life expectancy of how many years, I haven't done anywhere near as much as I want to do, and I don't see myself as successful. Yeah. But for my age and up to this point, I do. Yeah. I'm like, all right, I've done everything I wanted to do up till now. Yeah. So that's how I measure it. If you're on your deathbed, are you going to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I did everything I wanted to do? Yeah. Like, I started a family, I did this, I did that. Yeah, I did, that's what I wanted. And everyone's got different things of what they want. Not everyone wants to start a business or a family and stuff. Yeah. Some people just want to make sure that their kids are alright. Yeah, and even if that means doing things that you kind of end up regretting, at least you can say that you've had that experience. Yeah. And so I think success is just experiences as well. Success for certain people might be travelling the world. Yeah. That might be their full life ambition, to learn as much about every culture as possible. And that for them on their deathbed is good enough. Yeah. So I think success is, the best way to measure it is, if you died tomorrow, have you done everything up to this point that you could have possibly done? In my opinion. Yeah. That's how I measure it for myself. But everyone's got their own measure. Yeah, but I feel like, if I was to use that for me, I'd say, there's always this thing in my mind specifically, which is, I only am experiencing in my life, but every time I achieve something, I'm kind of like, I did it, so it was possible. So I don't really get that thing of, accomplishment. You know what I mean? Yeah, never. So when I think of, if I die tomorrow, would I be satisfied? I don't think there'll ever be a point where I'll say, yeah. I'm not satisfied with my life in the scope of things. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah. But up to this point, would you, if you had no control over your death tomorrow, no control, you just had to die tomorrow, it's just going to happen, or a meteor's going to hit a death. Yeah. Would you say up to this point, would you say up to this point, you've done everything you want, is what I'm saying, with the assumption that that's your whole... Yeah, okay, yeah. That's the cutoff. Yeah, that's interesting. I have to think about that one. Yeah. So it's... And the reason I like to think like that isn't because it's necessarily true, it's because it pushes me to move faster and faster. Yeah. Because it's like, alright, death day's tomorrow, I've got to do as much as I can today. Yeah. Death day's next week, alright, I've got to do as much as I can. I don't know, it can be a toxic mindset too. For sure. Because it stresses you out too. Yeah. Gives you really bad anxiety sometimes. Yeah. Because I'm in such a rush, I've got to do everything. Yeah. Everything that I can in my life. It's a mindset that it propels you forward. But it can have a mental strain. Yeah, and that's it's weird. It's a weird mindset. Yeah. I haven't met many people with it, but yeah, no, for sure. I wouldn't recommend it either. Yeah, but it will take its toll on you. I'll say that.
Yeah. Have you had any negative experiences in that, manner?
Yeah, I mean, it stresses you out a lot. You're always in a hurry.
Yeah, I definitely relate to that. Like, whenever I want to do something, the world's got to be put on pause, man, because that thing's getting done, and then...
Like, I walk fast, like...
Yeah.
Like, I walk and talk fast.
Bad,
because I'm so in a hurry
yeah.
in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
People are like, how do you talk so fast? Why do you walk so fast?
Slow down, man, come
like,
back.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, nah, I'm full steam ahead. Like.
Yeah. When we talk about those people, those people who are trying to, like, pull you back are sort of people that, when you talk about the ladder, are the people at the bottom trying to, like, grab onto you and say, have you ever experienced those type of negative things or people?
Yeah. Negativity comes in many forms. You gotta also understand that most people, and it's a bad thing to say, but most people don't want the best for you, and that's red
biological, man.
That's reality.
Yeah.
Most people don't want the best for you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make them bad people. It just means they don't care about you specifically.
No, man, it's written in, like, biological.
Yeah, it's
code,
human biology. Like, they don't want the best for you. And that's the world.
Yeah.
So there are good people out there that want the best for everyone, but they're very rare.
Yeah.
Personally, I love seeing people succeed.
Yeah.
I was always, as a young age, I'd see someone driving a Ferrari, and I'd be like, yeah, that's mad. Like, he's driving a Ferrari, good on the guy.
Yeah.
But I'd hear around me, dickhead, idiot, asshole, probably drug dealer.
Yeah.
And it's that tall poppy syndrome. Like, people just really want to tear you down.
Yeah.
And that's why people hate on successful people so much. You see it everywhere. And you need to understand this concept, and rather than be angry about it, you need to accept it.
Fair enough.
Accept negativity, because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
There'll probably be negative comments on this.
100%. There's going to be people disliking it. There's going to be all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I know there's people at the dinner table every day calling me an idiot or an asshole or arrogant or cocky or all of the above, or tagging their friends and laughing about it, about what I'm doing. Cool. Like, the more attention you give me, the more I'm winning.
Yeah.
So, like, you're just fueling it.
Yeah.
Like, even when we started certain projects, part of our strategy was getting hate.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
I'm not going to say which one specifically,
yeah. No,
but part of the strategy was getting people to bag it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that, just on a side note, I don't know if it's still true, but I think the Facebook algorithm reacts the most to things that people, actively are angry by. Yeah, angry by.
So, like, a lot of what we did with certain projects, I actually run a lot of the meme pages in Melbourne and Australia, and even the world.
Yeah.
We own and operate a lot of the big meme pages. We bagged our own businesses.
Really?
So we actually, a lot of the statuses that were made about certain projects, we made them. No one knows this. We bagged our own businesses, and these statuses went viral, like thousands of comments, and people were screenshotting them, messaging me, oh, look, everyone's talking crap about your business. I'm like, I put it there. I wrote it.
That's crazy, man.
Like,
that's so sick.
And they're like, oh yeah, his thing's gay, like, it sucks, it's stupid, like.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I rewrote that status. Like, we wrote it.
That's so tight.
Because negativity goes viral a lot of the time.
Oh, 100%.
So embrace it, use it to your advantage.
Man.
Like, don't hate on the world for being what it is. It is what it is, embrace it and use it. Use it to your advantage. It's just that negativity is a hack that exists that you can use to fuel. Look at Donald Trump. I love using Donald Trump as an example in all the interviews because he's so smart.
Yeah.
Like, he spent hardly any money on his marketing campaign compared to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton spent like way more money than Donald Trump, and you can look this up on the actual presidential campaign. Now, she was spending all this money on media, press, this, that. Donald Trump, on the other hand, was just saying some dumb crap.
Yeah, in his rallies.
So he would just be like, oh, we got to build a wall against the Mexicans.
Yeah.
And then the whole world knows about it, and he's just gotten like $50 million in free press just by saying something stupid.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that's how he thinks. 100%.
Like, because he's like, why should I pay for a CNN interview when I can just say some dumb crap and be on CNN anyway?
Exactly right.
But you got to strategically say that dumb crap. So he was just so smart.
Although it creates, I don't know what it does for the population in general, but in terms of
he went viral.
For sure, man. For sure.
Look at 6ix9ine.
Yeah, that's
he made himself a rat. Like he's like, No, I'm not gonna go there and try to clear my name.
Yeah.
I'm a rat.
I'm
literally
gonna turn one of the worst things you can be. Like, aside from being gay in the hip hop scene, there's literally nothing else that people dislike more
than a rat.
Yeah.
And a lot of people hate him for it.
Yeah.
Including me. I don't like rats. Like, I hate people. I don't like him. But like, it's like he was smart. Like he used it.
For sure, man. For sure.
Because negativity spreads. So
for sure.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
It's there.
That's tight.
Like if people are talking badly about you at school, cool. It's part of the world. You're not gonna change that.
Yeah.
You're never gonna change it. You can't fix them because they love talking. People love gossip. They love talking crap. They love talking badly.
Yeah.
So just use it to your advantage.
Yeah. Done. I mean, the one thing that I really like about YouTube and YouTube videos is that they're kind of like a time capsule for people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the future. So is there a message you want to say to yourself or anyone else before we wrap things up here? I'll give you time to think about it and cut it if you want.
No, wherever you go, like, just remember why you started and where you came from.
Dope. Alright, man. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Stretch my hands to you.
And value propositions in 22nd century, or whatever century will it?
21st.
Is it 21st?
Yeah.
Is 22nd from 2020 or is it 25th?
Nah, the century's like 100.
Ah, freaking idiot.
That's right, we'll cut it.
Yeah, cut it. Every single value proposition.
22nd century.
I'm still getting it.
Well, I'm gonna put the start. I'm gonna put at the start. That's gonna be the best clue. Depends.